Yo, I am so excited to do this, to attempt this, to experiment this with you guys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the Scorpio season announcement video, where the quick and dirty of it is that we are breaking out of the, what do I want to call it? The aspiration, but therefore the trap of 12, where I just like, we gotta be honest. Every single one of us are the embodiment of the zodiacal wheel. You are all of the expressions of light, period. And so, at least for Scorpio season, I don't know how long I want to do this. We'll see. I know this is like me. I don't want to do all the signs. It doesn't make sense anymore to do a reading for that because you are so much more than your sun, moon, and rising. You are your aspects. You are all like, and so we're trying something new. And after 12, there's a 13, and Scorpio is 13, the Zeth card. And what's dying is the illusion of separation. I'm diving into us operating as the whole that governs the parts, not the parts within the whole. And we've spent so much time understanding the parts and diving and dissecting the parts. And now it's just time for union. It's time to you hear me. I love you. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for receiving me well. If you need the individual signs, I hear you. I decided that I'm gonna do for every sign, for every new season, I'm going to do a reading dedicated to that sign. So Scorpio suns, you will be getting a traditional birthday reading from me. So I just feel like I'm weaning myself off. Cause I was like, it's your birthday. I don't want you. Scorpios already feel like they get the short end of the stick. I'm not going to be the one to reinforce that shit. So let me hydrate on that. But yeah, get your water, relax, grab whatever you want to light up and burn, because we about to get into it. Ooh, it's your girl Jay, the High Priestess. Back at it again with the general reading for this Scorpio season that we're having 2023. And this one feels a little like nerdy intellectually. I want to read stuff. I got books, I got poetry. There's there's so much more that's going into it. And I just saw 27. Y'all know it's my number. Oh, thank you. I just feel like I have so much more to offer than just tarot or oracle, and we're evolving. I love you. So let's get into it. But first, create a safe space for my benevolent ancestors. Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for everyone I read for today. Please fill us with divine love, divine wisdom, divine energy, divine comprehension. Give us the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Give us the ability to discern truth amidst misinformation. Fill us with divine discernment. All right, so first I want to read y'all know how I feel about Hafiz, Sufi poet, And I want to read, this book is a Year with Hafiz. There is a poem for every day of the year. And it's, if you can see all of my stickies, we're going to dive deeper into this. I got stuff in the works, y'all. I'm trying to not like evolve into like this creature that grows 2 more arms, because I just feel like there's so much that I want to do, and so much that I want to provide, so much that I'm curious about, and I struggle with scheduling and discipline, and I'm doing the best that I can, and everybody's like, you're the hardest worker I know, and I don't feel that. And so those of you who are struggling with that, there is something about, like, we got to talk about it. Like, we have to talk about where that comes from. I realized, like, I learned that behavior, the fear of like taking time off, and the hustle, it came from a particular parent, you know what I mean? And so all behavior is learned behavior. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but we're bringing this back around to Fizz. This book is life-changing, and I think it's beautiful to like give yourself a little dose of poetry and romance every day. So give that shit to yourself. So the poem, it's so short, I haven't read it yet. The poem for, like, there's one for every day. For October 24th, which is today, the day that I'm reading this, that I'm doing this, is not the treasure. When love is there, is not the treasure. When it is not, who can blame a face that looks sad? I love this, man. I'm going to read again. When love is there, is not the treasure. The love and the treasure are fucking synonymous. They go hand in hand. When love is there, is not the treasure. When it is not, when love is not there, who could blame a face that looks sad? Oof, I love him. All right. And then I also just feel like giving us an I Ching. For those who feel drawn to this reading and like you get an I Ching. I normally only do these every cardinal season, but I'm gonna sprinkle in a little of the new shit that I've been doing. We're gonna get to tarot, but there's so much more magic inside of me, and I feel like I hope you start stumbling into and developing all the magic inside of you, and like shooting your shot, being different, doing the things that feel good. It's going to resonate and inspire other people no matter what. So for this Scorpio season 2023, number 44. Ooh! 4 is stability. What's going on with your relationship to stability? Mars is currently in Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio. And there's this it feels like there is a truth that is inside of you, that's screaming, that's aching to come out, that needs to be expressed. And it's been something that you've been like repressing. I feel like for some of you, it has a lot to do with your relationship, your type of love relationship, your type of like your attachment style. There is just something also about like, ooh, that just came through. That's rant. This is what we do now. Some of you are struggling with something about like, I'm too much. You're afraid that you're asking for too much. And it's like, no, you're not asking for too much. I feel like what you're asking for, the divine is asking you to reflect and like to ground and bring into your reality within your 3D world, so that you can receive that externally from other people. So let's say you're asking for a loving relationship. It's time to build a new foundation in a loving relationship within yourself. So because like attracts like. So you're going to attract, however you're loving yourself, you're going to attract somebody that loves themselves like at that level and therefore loves you at that level. Okay, so spirit's flowing. Okay, this is 44. It's cow, not C-O-W. K-O-U, cow, or coup. And it's, the hexagram is wind. The hexagram is heaven over wind. I'll show you guys that. Heaven over wind. Coming to meet. Woo! The I Ching hits every fucking time. The first sentence, it is a dangerous hour. I'll be motherfuck. It is a dangerous hour. Through an eruption of our inferior nature, darkness has interrupted the flow of light. When has the I Ching ever fucking missed? When? I'll wait. Never. First line, just my spirit needed to hear that, needed it confirmed. It is a dangerous hour. And y'all rocking with me? I feel like knowing that it's a dangerous hour, do what you can to start like just making sure that you will feel a lot secure, a lot more secure in your existence once you have thought about the possibility of your comforts being removed from you. As Americans, we really, really are comfortable. Everybody, whoever is watching this, like I feel like you'd be interested in watching, it's on Netflix, it's called like Living to 100, the Blue Zones or something like that. Something about living to 100. And he talks about the gist of it. I hate to, not to ruin it for you or spoil anything, but it's beautiful. You should absolutely watch it. Living to 100 Blue Zones. But the gist of it is modernization and industrialization and our relationship to convenience has shortened our lives. There are people who are living to 100 and beyond because they are still like planting the corn, tending to the corn, pruning the corn, harvesting the corn, bringing the corn uphill, milling the corn, grinding it down like when we are just used to a corn patty being, or like a waffle being handed to you. It's like there's still so many places in the places in the world where people are living the longest. They are way more involved in what they consume. They're way more involved in like community. And go watch it, go check it out. Anyways, but this is number 44, coming to meet. Darkness reappears unexpectedly. Caution and reticence are in order. It is a dangerous hour. Through an eruption of our inferior nature, darkness has interrupted the flow of light. The inferior can be quite seductive. And if we do not result in resisting it, the moment can be lost to misfortune. In oneself, it is a time to examine motives. Those which are of questionable honor should be uprooted and discarded. Be wary of situations that engage your ego and tempt you into anger, self-righteousness, or desire. Scorpio, I desire. Actively employ your higher nature to test the correctness of tempting ideas and circumstances. That which seems suspicious almost certainly is. If it feels off, it is. In your conduct with others, practice modesty, independence, and patience with great discipline. Avoid anger or arrogance at all costs. Withdraw whenever you cannot meet another in a balanced and independent way. Neither encourage another to forego his balance, nor indulge him if he does so. Again, withdraw into stillness if the circumstances indicate the presence of inferior influences. Reticence and self-scrutiny are the order of the day. And we're in 2023, so I'm going to read the third line. The temptation is to argue one's case. This will only serve to beckon misfortune. Observe the urge, but do not indulge it. Ooh, I'm gonna read that again. The temptation to argue one's case. This will only serve to beckon misfortune. Observe the urge, but do not indulge it. I gotta save this for later. Cause ooh-wee. If that ain't what's going on in like the world right now. I Ching, do yourself a favor. Okay. I'm going to pull one from the Botanical Inspirations deck. It's just gorgeous. This reading is feeling very airy and earthy. So for those of you with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements. Also, I said Cancer. So maybe I feel like this is tapping into those energies a lot. There's like a sagey green feeling of that, and it feels also watery as well. So thank you. Gloxinia, glorious perennius, love at first sight, and proud spirit. When I saw you, I fell in love, and you smiled because you knew. William Shakespeare. Ooh. Interesting. First thing I just heard was twins, but I don't do twin flame. I don't believe in that twin flame shit. This may be, some of you may be having twins or dating somebody that is a twin, or somebody that's coming in that is a twin is really important. But there could be just like this twin soul kind of feeling, like I feel like our souls know each other, kind of vibe that's coming in. Also, some of you may be experiencing love at first sight. And I feel like you feel it in the crown, the purple here in the flower. And it also feels like a crown, like a trumpet, like there's a, like, that's in, like you feel it like vibrate, coming in, vibrating from the top of your head and out. That's like the feeling you feel when you meet this person, or you meet this friend, or you get this job opportunity, this thing that you love. But I do feel like there is some sort of transformational duality that's coming in as well. You being able to see from both sides really puts you in a position of power. You being able to empathize puts you in a position of power. And it ow, this fucking tech, it's so hard to open it. I just want a couple from this new Oracle deck that I'm obsessed with, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. Goodness. Lead and reach out, reversed, with coming together on the bottom of the deck. There's something here that I Ching was like coming to meet, and then coming together, and then love at first sight. So I feel like a lot of you have been discouraged when it comes to love. afraid to take the lead, afraid to approach people. Coming together, this could be the Two of Cups energy. I feel like this could be also reconnecting with like platonic love, familial, childlike love. This doesn't have to be romantic love, but I do feel like there is this surging of it. You really seeing yourself in your nephews and your nieces and children around you and your friends' kids. You're really seeing like your friends and their offspring, like you seeing the reflections of them, the like, there just could be some like sweet nostalgic moments possibly as well. That was coming together, was at the bottom of the deck, but what came out was lead reversed and reach out. Lead, reach out. Some of us, like, yeah, leaders. There is just like a falling out in leadership. I'll show you these cards upright so you can see. Lead is the Emperor. Reach out looks like the Three of Wands. But I feel like there's knowledge that has been entrusted in the hands of leaders that is coming out, is being spilled. Like leaders living double lives. If you fucking, I'm telling you, people who fucking up about to get revealed, especially if people are living a double life. Interesting, another 4 came out. The I Ching was hexagram number 44. And so I feel like there is a fall in stability, a fall in the foundation that is going to be leading to a new foundation. And I feel like don't learn, like, ooh, how do I word this? It's like some of you, like, you've been behaving like your father, or you realize like you're just like them, or you've been doing something like that, or doing something that mirrors behavior that you don't like. It's like your parents, or a parent didn't ask for help and you don't ask for help either. Or there could be just someone in power or in authority that needs help and is like refusing to reach out in some sort of way. And I do feel like it is important to do your part to elevate. The information that's getting ready to come out will be elevating you. And I do feel like there is something like the divine is calling you out and asking you to make a change when it comes to who you follow, who leads you, who guides you, who is an authoritative figure in your life. Like what's going on with your relationship to your father or masculine energy or authority. What's going on with your relationship to discipline. Is there a shadow self that's being repressed? This also could be politicians. Also, some people, like, people that need to run for office, but they're afraid. Or you need to run for office, but you're afraid. Or you need to like strive for that management position, or strive for that leadership role, but like you're afraid to branch out, or afraid to like reach out and ask for guidance and reach out and ask for help. And I feel like the people around you are going to be the ones who elevate you. This is a big indication of co-creation. I feel like you plus someone else plus maybe another person, there is just something about like together we get further, together we are stronger. Now I'm shuffling the Rider-Waite, and the 5 of Wands reverse just came out. So first thing to be clarified on the Selenite throne is like drama. It like is drama, and also like issues with physical activity. Like maybe you're feeling drained, maybe you don't have, or you're not feeling like you have the energy. Like there's so much that you need to do, but you're drained. That needs to, I feel like be evaluated. There may be somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. Yeah, definitely fire signs. That, I don't know why I felt like save face, or are instigating. Are you instigating? Are you sitting on your high throne and like judging people, or do you know people who are doing this? Judging a fight from below, judging about like shit that they, speaking on things they have no experience with. I feel like either you or someone, either you're needing to check somebody with this, or somebody is checking you with this information. There is something here about like needing to get grounded in whatever it is that you're passionate about, and getting grounded also looks like educating yourself, being consistent with something. With the Five of Wands reversed, all this earth and footing is at the top of the card, and so there is something here about finding your perfect stance in Scorpio season, allowing yourself to focus on like redefining stability, redefining, because Pluto is in Capricorn, and there is this yeah, there's just this whole new beginning, and there's so much new potential, and I feel like there's so much that you want to do and you don't know where to start, and I feel like where to start is talking to the God of your understanding, so you can get the guidance, so you can get the direction. The sun is guiding him, leading him, and I feel like there is revelation. The sun is now in Scorpio. The sun is in Scorpio is a sign of I desire, and so I feel like the sun coming up in being in Scorpio now, Mercury, communication, the planet of the mind, being in Scorpio now is going to be giving us like real-time updated rebuttals and like statements and truths about what we truly want, because that's going to be changing, especially after that lunar eclipse. Luna, the lunar is the moon. It's your emotions, and when your emotions change, your desires change. And I feel like there is some sort of like, maybe some of you are getting out of a relationship and going back into the dating world, and you're afraid. You don't need to be, because there's all this love at first sight stuff coming up. I also feel like some of you may be just unsatisfied in your relationship, and something new comes in and you have a crush and you're tempted to like risk it all, and it's just like, don't be foolish. Yes, all this new potential, all this new energy is coming up, but you gotta make sure that you act right. That's a big thing going forward. I feel like you just fucking act right, do the right thing, and you can tap into that carefree, lighthearted, emotionally mature and intellectual, guided, surrendered energy of the Fool. But if not, you could just fall into the archetype of, or the aspect of the Fool that is just like, oh, I just got these things that are around me, let me just grab them and go, and just like, let's just see whatever happens. Like, are you operating consciously or unconsciously? And who is guiding the operating system? Is it your spirit, or is it your logic? Is it your connection to the divine, or is it your reasoning mind? Bars. Thank you. Anyway, let's see. With the Fool coming out, there may be somebody with Aries, Leo, or Aquarius placements coming into your life and moving things forward. The Ten of Wands. I feel like some of y'all are getting like you're done dealing with foolish people and foolish situations. That's one thing that all this war has been bringing to the, like Russia, everything, ever since even like the Russian shit popped off. Like, I feel like it's been so incredibly divisive, but it has also like shown you who you're dealing with. And so there's a double edge to the sword. And yes, we're burnt out on bullshit, but I do feel like we're also motivated to initiate this brand new chapter in the realm of physical, spiritual, and sexual energy. And that's what's really important for you to be doing this Scorpio season. And whenever you see this, it's like, it's time to turn your back on the bullshit. And also it's time to, because the Fool is new potential, it's new energy, it's that like thrill of life, it's the leap of faith, it's like, you got this, you can do this, here's your sign energy. And so that influx of like luck and dumb luck and physical energy and like blessings, that like, it's time to gather all that energy and start moving it into a new direction. And the Divine's gonna show us what direction you should be moving towards. What I do see is like moving towards union. That's one thing that's coming up. Moving towards union, but I feel like before we move towards union, we're moving towards unpacking our attachment styles. Addressing codependency. Do you want to be monogamous? Do you want to be polyamorous? How are you showing up in a relationship? Are you being authentic? Are you being ethical? Would you want your children to date somebody like you? Would you want your children to date somebody like you're dating? It's time to be real. The King of Wands keeps coming up, and the King of Wands is the sun. It's Leo energy, but the King of Wands is also like, he's bogged down by responsibility, but he's also like a good fucking person. It's kind of like the quintessential like charming, fun, adventurous spouse that like most people, you know, not most, you know, that like the idealist kind of like charming spouse. And I feel like this keeps coming up because we got to make sure that we're putting all of our energy, like a lot of physical and emotional energy needs to be put in uprooting that, like you telling yourself you're different, or you telling yourself you're too much, or the Captain Save-A-Ho shit that you do. Allowing people to come in that don't like meet your standards, or who the ways that you take the brunt of the storm for all these people, people that make you feel left out or feel left in the cold. Some of you are also doing shit that you hate for a check, and it's time to put your energy into creating a plan where, and that plan will require you to start betting on yourself. The plan will require you to start tapping into your originality and being more masterful with it. Final card, final message, please. And now over on Patreon, we will dive into the plunge where I will clarify all of these cards. Patreon.com/JustJEverything. For free shit, check out my Instasham at JustJ_everything, TikTok at JustJEverything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, JustJEverything.com. Final card, final message for this reading, please. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Eat the meat, leave the bones, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know how to identify a resonation in your body when something hits, when that like, ooh, yeah. Or when someone's like, oh, yeah, yeah. You know, like you know how to identify when something resonates. Final card, final message. Nine of Pentacles. A bunch of things flipped out, but they didn't flip over. And one of them was the fucking King of Wands. He wanted to come out. The King of Wands with the Eight of Wands came out. I feel like this King of Wands, or maybe somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements, that I feel like is expressing a lot of enthusiasm towards you. I feel like there is a lover, there is a partner, somebody that's grown and that you have like passion and heat with, that's coming in. What is at the bottom of the deck though is the Six of Wands, and I love that the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles came out, because it's like the white and the black horse, which makes me think of the white and the black Sphinx on the Chariot, and that's victory. And I feel like you are experiencing integration in your 3D world that was orchestrated or designated in the ether. Like, your victory was already, like, this particular victory that's coming in is generated by way of you integrating your light and your dark. You starting to fall in love with your darkness. Okay, so even in the way that I say that, so like for instance, for me falling in love with my darkness is understanding like there is a part of me that delights in violence. And that scares people, you know, but like, and I can't, and it's hard to say that out loud to people, but instead I do things like spinning like contact staff and like doing controlled dangerous shit. I watch lots of like action in horror movies and stuff, you know, like I don't shame that side of myself. I get to know that side of myself. Because now whenever I get mad, because I've hollered at her and we got a rapport, my shadow is not allowed to just push me out of the way and do what it wants to do and say what it wants to say and fuck shit up, because I've interacted with that aspect of myself. And I hope that makes sense. So I feel like there is something here about movement in the understanding of both the light and the dark parts of yourself. And there is this like prosperous consistency, publicly successful shift. And I just feel like there is something that feels like justice is being really served here. For those of you who see this, I feel like there has been a wrongdoing that has been taking you a while to get over. And this coming together energy that keeps coming through. 2. And then underneath that, taking the lead. Again, another thing about the lead. 2 and 3, and that's 5. So there may be like internal conflicts about you using the power, tapping into the power that the divine gave you. Yeah, there is like a lot of fear. Wow, interesting. A lot of fear for us around giving and receiving. Yeah, base chakra, because I feel like we've been locked in our root for so long. And your root governs survival, and survival is blocked by fear. And once you can acknowledge and articulate and look at what you're afraid of, then you can, you know, ascend into working with the sacral, which governs pleasure, that's blocked by guilt. And once you acknowledge, you know, so we're changing our focus. Yes, we're changing our focus towards, I feel like, union, wholeness, connectivity, allowing love to come in, allowing ourselves to date around, allowing ourselves to be fools in love. But fools in love, you can still be calculated and be a fool in love. You know, so I feel like take calculated risks. I'm excited to clarify this fool in the plunge. So far, only 1 major arcana and 1 court card. So I feel like for Scorpio season, there is a lot of focus on your choices. The divine looking at your choices. What do you do? Who are you when no one's looking? That's important. And I feel like you're reconciling a lot about that. And whatever financial obstacles that you've been fearing, I feel like can be evaded or avoided if you come up with a solid plan. Come up with a solid plan. Look at the numbers. Do what you got to do. If you need help, stop being afraid to reach out. There is somebody that you know, somebody that is in leadership, or somebody, maybe they're mean to you or something like that. You don't have to talk to that person. But I do feel like there are people around you that are very knowledgeable about grounding. And what did I say? The first card out was the Five of Wands reversed. All this grass, all this ground, all the feet on the ground here at the top. And so it's time to really prioritize and clarify your relationship to grounding, your relationship to relaxation. Do you let yourself relax, or are you always trying to lunge at the next new thing? It's time to lunge that energy into uprooting any emotional baggage. It's gonna come up, so you might as well go ahead and get ahead of the game. I do feel like, especially if it has to do with someone with Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements, you are finally moving forward. You are finally moving on, or they are leaving. They are done. They are, spent up. The Five of Pentacles plus the Knight of Pentacles, that's 6 Pentacles, and that speaks to some disharmony in regards to disharmony in your self-worth, disharmony in how much money you're making, disharmony in confidence levels possibly, and harmony that is to be established. And that needs to be established by way of being methodical and consistent, and some of you, I feel like you want to launch this new thing or a new business, or you want to go you just want to do this thing. And I feel like there's just still stuff left behind to tend to. Don't put the cart, you may be tempted to put the cart before the horse in Scorpio season. And I just feel like the creeps come out in Scorpio season. Your inner creep comes out in Scorpio season. And I feel like you're going to start to realize that there have been some codependent or trauma bondy kind of relationships or connections that it's time to move away from. Some of you are leaving religions. Some of you are done going to a certain church, or done working at this place. Some of you have realized your job is your religion. Ooh, that was a read for me. Oh, that was resonation right there. Religious about your job. You're doing something religiously, and it's awesome and beautiful that you can be consistent like that, but it feels really, really important to start making slow and steady moves. This is the Taurus Scorpio axis that we're dealing with now. And that lunar eclipse in Taurus, I feel like, is going to be setting you on a new direction. And that new direction will require integration and an acknowledgement of the light and the dark. You're going to have to look at your fears so that you can overcome them and turn your lead into gold. I love you. I'll see you over on Patreon, patreon.com/JustJEverything. All the links are in the description box below. Bye.
For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.